So where are you right now, Nat?
So, right now I'm in Seoul, Korea. Um, I moved here 18th of August to study Korean full time. It's been just maybe coming to 3 months. The first month, maybe I was like settling in. I had 12 days to find an apartment, which was, hindsight, incredibly rash and foolhardy, but hey, I did it in 14 days, overdue by 2 days, but still, it was very challenging. Honestly, I wouldn't have made it if not for like, the kindness of a lot of my Korean friends. I think generally I'm somebody who is very independent, and I'm quite in being independent and figuring shit out myself, right? But over here, because I don't speak the language, and as a foreigner, there's also a lot of things that cannot be done if you don't have your ARC, and that takes like quite a while to get. We're talking like maybe first like 6 weeks, and my registration for ARC was actually like even like later. So that's why I really had to depend on the kindness of my Korean. And I've never felt more helpless. So it's very humbling
What
experience.
what is ARC? ARC,
Oh,
is that like the
it's like
permanent?
the alien. It literally stands for alien resident card.
So you need the alien resident card to be able to live there, work there,
Yes,
study
yes.
there.
So like even for the what you call it, like the phone line, mobile phone line. So as a foreigner, I can only use a prepaid card. And my particular prepaid card expires. I can't even top it up. So each time it's about to expire, I need to buy a new SIM card. So it's kind of frustrating. And like for example, my apartment didn't come with internet, so I had to like get an internet plan. And obviously I wouldn't be able to do it without the ARC, which up to now, I mean, I still don't have my ARC. So it was kind of frustrating. But then one of my Korean friends, we were looking at plans, and he's like, okay, this plan is the cheapest if we bundle like the phone and the internet. But it was like a 3-year contract. So he actually like signed a 3-year contract on his name, like
So, but I
for
mean, like,
me.
so you can get. I'm similar to Thailand. If you're like on like a few year contract, you can get out of the contract, but then you have to pay for a penalty fine. Is that like the
Yeah,
same?
yeah. But the thing, I don't even get to sign the contract because I don't have an ARC. So there's no way they can process my application.
So basically,
Yeah.
your friend has to do it on your behalf.
Yes,
You're
exactly.
you're
So
really. I mean, it's really cool that you have really good friends there.
yeah, I'm very blessed. I'm very
Okay,
grateful for them
I'm,
actually.
I'm gonna backtrack this a bit. Nat Ho is a good friend of mine who is an artist, music producer, traveler, adventurer, everything. That is just like a formal introduction. And thank you for help me. Thank you for being on this episode with me. And I'm kind of trying this out. This is sort of a journey, and I feel this is so cool because I feel I'm like right there with you with what you're going through right now. So this
Yeah,
is
I
not the
mean,
first.
what?
I was gonna say this is not the first time that you've moved to a foreign country. I mean, through the years you've done this before, like Taiwan and the United States, and now like Korea. This just came
It's
to my
kind of
mind.
become a habit.
I know. So do you find yourself sort of in the same situation each time you go to like a foreign country?
I think each country is a bit different, right? Because, obviously, from a logistical point of view, each country has different regulations and stuff. So it's always been very challenging, and I think it's in a very warped, perverse way. It's what keeps me grounded, right? Because like I don't know everything, and there's still a lot of stuff I need to figure out, right? And I think it's really my journey of learning to be comfortable with discomfort, if that makes sense.
comfortable with discomfort as in like being able to put yourself in a situation to be helpless. Is that what you mean? Like
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
okay, it kind of humbles you and puts you in a
Yes.
place like a start over.
Yeah, because I don't like to ask for help. I mean, I'm happy to help other people, but I don't like asking for help.
I know exactly what you mean because I think we parallel in that sense, and I've known you for so long. So I
Mhm.
um I mean it I I follow you on social media, so I did see how you're reaching out about like, hey, I need a place to stay. Can if anyone can help me out, and I know that's out of your nature. So my question is, because you've been so like you've been used to like doing everything on your own. When
Yeah.
did you get to a point where you were comfortable to reach out? Was it like recently in the last couple of years? Like, what was the transition for you to be okay to go like, hey, I need help here?
Mm, I think it's really more, it was a few years ago. I don't remember a specific moment, but it was when I realized that like and I truly believe this is a universal law, right? That at every stage in your life, the people you need will it's not necessarily the people you want or not necessarily the people whom you think will be there for you, but it's always the people you need who will appear, right? So I think, with this knowledge or realization in mind, it allows me to do a lot of things that appear reckless to to other people. I mean, of course, I still like plan and do stuff, but the fact of the matter, especially in the last 2 years, right? What the global pandemic has taught us is the fact that you know nothing is ever certain. I mean, the past 2 years, so many of and my plans have just gone out of the window, and I have to learn to be okay with that and adapting to things. Um, so I think through the entire process, I started to realize that okay, whatever it is anyone is going through, just it's figure outable, right? As long as you're healthy and safe, like everything else can be figured out. And back to my point about the like the universe sending the people you need, like that friend who signed the 3-year contract for me. Like at that time when he signed it for me, we only knew each other for 2 weeks. And obviously, I mean, in Korea, a lot of Koreans still don't speak English. I mean, I think a lot of Koreans actually do learn English in elementary school, but they don't feel comfortable. They're like kind of shy to speak. So having a person who's fluent in English can sometimes be a challenge, especially when you're new and your friend network is not that big, right? But how we even got to know each other was really interesting because, um, like he came along as my friends plus one to my birthday party.
Really?
Yeah, because the friend I invited was my hairstylist here in Korea. So, I mean, I had some like foreigner friends. So he was happy to come, but he also, a bit like, oh, my English is not very good. Can I bring like a friend who's English, and then like he can be the go between them? Like, yeah, sure, just we're super chill, right? Just bring it. So yeah, so that's how we kind of like got to know each other. So that's exactly the point. The universe will bring you whoever you need. And the other person that was really instrumental in my house hunting journey was this girl called Scarlett. And literally I got to know her this trip here in April, when me and another friend went for an F-45 trial session. And we just like connect. And it just so happened at that time, it was her last week there. So she was gonna take some time off for herself and take her time to find the job or something. So yeah, we actually got along really well. And then like this trip, when she was like between jobs or something, so she actually had the time to go house with me, and also like do the translations for me on like the Korean apps and talk to like Korean realtors and everything because yeah, I like really if you don't speak Korean here, I mean, if you can come here for a holiday and be able to get around just fine, right? But I think if you want to live here and settle like important life things like an apartment, right? Yeah, you really need somebody who can speak Korean. So like these people showed up for me just when I needed them. So I'm incredibly like grateful and thankful to them. Yeah,
I had this talk the other day with my friend as well. How it's interesting how you were talking to me about the story about how this new friend of yours was like the plus one at your birthday,
yeah,
and one of my good friends who I went out the other night, we were talking about a common friend of ours who we're both close to, but we're not as close to anymore. I mean, we've lost touch, but we've become friends, and we're grateful how that person was the bridge to our friendship. So I think that kind of touches on like, the universe and energies, and like sometimes it's like there's a bridge to your relationships and friendships and different chapters
yeah,
and different places in your life. So I mean, back to this whole like moving from you've been to so many different places and environments, and it's interesting how right now with Korea you have that factor of language. You didn't have that when at one point when you were living in Taiwan and when you were in the States,
yeah.
because yeah. So
I mean,
was
Taiwan
it
was still a little bit, but because I actually do know Mandarin, that my Mandarin wasn't as fluent as it should have been. But yeah, Korea is like really, from scratch. So that was very challenging.
how can I ask how much did how much did you prepare yourself this time around before you moved to Korea? Because like we caught up, and before I knew it, like you're off to Korea. So I don't know the backstory if you had like really planned it out, or knowing you, sometimes you just do things on the whim. So was it really something on the whim?
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Okay,
it
that's what
really
I thought. That's
was.
what I
Like
thought.
yeah, typical. Yes. So before I caught up to end of July in Bangkok, right? So prior to that, I was in Korea on a holiday, an extended holiday. And what was interesting was at the time when I came to Korea, I was actually waiting for news for like of my US visa applications, which just has been such, a drama and like it's been a whole production, right? Um, so it was very fun. So I thought, okay, I'm just gonna, like take a break and come to Korea and really enjoy the place. And that trip was good because I came with my good friend Rachel, and we didn't plan a single thing on the itinerary, right? We're just gonna come here and hey, universe surprise. Literally, we had things to do every day, and like people, it was so organic and so cool. I love it. And yeah, of course, I have been writing for the K-pop market for I think the past 1 year. I'm still pretty new as a songwriter, but I think um there were some opportunities that came my way, and I took it. And to me it's I'm just taking every new experience as a chance to learn and grow, right? So then when I came to Korea, also, I touched base on people that I had been working with. And while it was one day while I was here in Korea, I was looking around at the place and I'm like, there's a sense of familiarity to this place, and I literally had that thought, I can see myself living here. And so that's kind of when I made the decision to be like, okay, the US visa thing doesn't work out. I think Korea is great too. I think this is where I'm meant to be. So yeah, so as luck would have it, I mean, what people don't realize is that I've had like I've had three separate visa applications and different kinds of visa, right? And I've done it through proper channels, with an immigration lawyer. Like my case file, I mean, I have a good solid professional history. Yeah, so but whatever it could be, political, it could be COVID or whatever, divine timing, whatever it is, right? For whatever reason, it didn't work out.
We're
Um,
talking about the visa in the US
in
or
the
the
US,
visa.
yeah.
Okay,
Yeah. I think now looking back, I'm kind of grateful for it because if it's because that didn't work out, then
you're
that's
here
why
right
I'm
now.
here, right? And honestly, I mean, I'm actually really happy. I mean, school is stressful. It's way more stressful than I anticipated.
What
But aside
what ex
from that,
what exactly is like school right now? Are you taking Korean or are you taking what? I mean, I think we really didn't go into the conversation as to what you're studying. What are you
okay.
learning in school right now?
So I am studying Korean full time.
Oh,
Yeah, and I'm starting from scratch. So again, I've never felt more stupid. Um, the first two, because so this school they teach in full Korean, right? They believe in immersion, like throw you into the ocean and like you either swim or you die.
for some
So
reason it sounds very Korean.
it sounds what?
What it sounds very Korean. Like I'm thinking,
Yeah, Asian style, basically.
yeah, Asian style. Basically, they throw you in the deep end.
Yeah, so I mean, oh dude, like yeah, it wasn't fun at all. And I was honestly a little bit resentful at first, because I was like, okay, yeah, the teachers are great and everything. They're super patient, super nice, and if like they will explain it to me slowly, but in Korean. So I'm like, dude, like I don't understand Korean. So if you are talking to me in a language that I do not understand, I cannot create that associations, and I'm still not gonna learn anything. But then, I decided to, okay, let's just go through with this, right? I already made the decision, so I need to like own that decision, right? I said, okay, let's just keep an open mind and see what happens, because I came to the realization that, I mean, when we are newborns, right, actually
Yeah,
don't know any language. So how did you even learn your first language without
right.
knowing the language, right? So I think there has to be some wisdom to it. So I think, and that actually, like, keeping an open mind actually helped me absorb things better. And of course, it was a lot of hard work, and like I actually, in addition to my own classes, I bought like online Korean classes that taught in English. Not because the school wasn't effective, but because I treat it kind of like revision practice for me, and because it's in a language that I do understand, it actually helps to kind of like reinforce what I learn in class. So I think that was pretty helpful. I'm still nowhere where I want to be, but also really, again, very humbling, and but also very fascinating how the human brain works. So like those first 2 weeks, right? Literally every day I go to class and the teacher's like asking me something, and I'm deer in the headlights. You know, and I'm like, oh, what? You know,
Well,
and
I think that's a testament of you saying how like you're thrown in deep end. I just want to kind of clarify when I said like it sounds very Korean. I wasn't being stereotypical. It's actually off of the documentary of Blackpink I watched, and how Lisa Blackpink, she's Thai, and when she was a trainee,
oh
basic
yeah,
they forced her to only listen to Korean, and she kind of went through the same thing you did. She didn't understand the language, and there wasn't anything that she could connect to a language that she understood. So yeah, it's kind of being thrown in the deep end. But
yeah.
I can imagine, and I think it's really cool how the fact that I think it's a lot of respect for you, where it doesn't matter where you are in life, what age you are, who you are. It's like being able to overcome that fear to just start new, like in environments or even in learning something. I think it's really cool.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, I think that's the secret to staying young, right? Because if you know everything already, and then there's nothing else to learn and nothing else to explore or experience, then that's when you die.
That was, I love that.
What?
that, that was perfect. Basically, you die. Exactly.
Yeah,
It's like
you
you
die.
die as you're living. You know, you're not literally
Yeah, no,
dead, but
but literally, that's when you start dying faster. You know, like how, like, I mean, this sounds really terrible. And I mean, I don't mean any disrespect, just as an illustration, right? You know, there are some there are some people they retire and then like they have their best lives. They pick up a new hobby, or they go traveling, or they look after the grandkids and stuff. And then some other people, by choice or by circumstances, right, after they retire, they just stay at home and watch TV all day. Like, the watch TV all day people die faster, because they're not moving, and they're not like actively engaged. It's a very like passive kind of thing, which is, and then because your body, it's simple, whether it's your muscles, whether it's your brain, you don't use it, you lose it, right? So I actually really truly believe that there is that element as well. And I mean, people say life is short, which is true, but at the same time, life is also very long, right? So you need to fill it with things that make you happy, things that spark joy.
right, you need to fill it with what motivates you and gives you value to life. And
Yeah.
basic. And I think being human, the core, the basic elements is like is to continue to learn and continue to be inspired and continue to
Well,
have all your senses be
I
elevated.
kind I kind of think it's different for everybody. And because yeah, also a few years ago, I came to realization, right? Like, people are always asking, what is the meaning of life and this and that, like, as it's like some great like mystery that needs to be solved. But the answer is very simple. Life is meaningless. And it sounds terrible, but it's really not. Life is designed to be meaningless because it's like you're handed a blank piece of paper and a pencil, and you can draw anything you want. That is the meaning of life. You are given like free reign to do whatever you want. So what do you want to do with it? It's meaningless by design, because we are the ones that create the meaning. So for me, I choose to do it, via like learning and experiencing different things and trying to be the best person I can be. Um, Other people, they, I don't know, everybody does finds that meaning in different ways. And again, you're also allowed to pivot, allowed to change, to change your mind at any stage of your life, right? And like, don't let nobody tell you you can't do that, whether it's like family, whether it's friends, whether it's society, or whatever it is, right? Because they're not you, right? Everyone has their own path, and you need to respect that journey, even if you don't understand what somebody else is doing. I mean, I think, it's great that we're talking about this, because then we're able to share our stories, right? And stories is what connects people, is what inspires people. But at the same time, I don't expect anybody to follow in my footsteps, because this is my journey, and you have your journey. But we can exchange notes, we can share stories, right?
Or we
And if
can share our canvas and what we're
exact
painting.
exactly, yeah, it's like, hey, look, I drew a cat. Hey, look, I drew a dog, right? It's like, oh,
Yeah.
that's cute, they're both cute, that's fine. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's not like, oh, my cat is better than your dog. It's like, no, I mean, like, why does it have to be that way? It's a shared experience, drawing on canvas, and we can draw whatever we want.
Yeah. And then I might like your cat, so I might want to draw a cat along with my dog, stuff like that. That's
Exactly,
that's how we
exactly. Yeah, yeah,
exactly.
right. It's not difficult.
Yeah.
People are
So
just complicating things.
you know what? I think I pretty much got everything I needed out of this session. This is really cool.
Oh.
Yeah. Life is meaningless. And I shall go to my canvas now somewhere. Okay, I'm gonna wrap this up because
Okay.
you've already inspired me in this conversation, and you're right. It's just about sharing, and it's you're not, and I'm not here to tell or dictate people how to live their lives or what they should do, but it's about just having conversations and sharing a bit of who we are, our campus.
Yeah. Yes. So thank you
Okay.
for setting this up.
Okay,
No.
bye.